Welcome to our program on Ignatian wisdom as we go through the lessons given to us by Ignatius through his autobiography. The last time we met, we talked about how he went to Paris, and so that he's not tempted to go through his money too quickly, he entrusted to a Spanish roommate who goes through his money. And so Ignatius is very much inconvenienced. He has to change quarters. He has to interrupt the studies and begin to beg for his sustenance. One Spanish friar says to him concerning his difficulty, a Spanish friar told him one day that it would be better to go each year to Flanders and lose 2 months or even less to bring back enough to enable him to study for the whole year. This suggestion he thought good after commending it to God. So Ignatius goes to Flanders every year, particularly the town of Bruges. I remember visiting Bruges a number of years ago and standing at a corner, an intersection, where there's a statue of a Spanish king, because it was the Spanish Netherlands at the time, and looking around the buildings and remembering a painting I saw once about that same corner painted in the 1600s. It hasn't changed very much, but this was the area that Ignatius went to raise funds. Why? Because there are a lot of Spanish merchants there. So he goes to Bruges, to Flanders each year, and one year even goes to London to raise funds so he can support himself during his studies, so it has to be bothered by begging or worried about his money and lodging and so forth. What does this illustrate about Ignatius? He's more thinking ahead. He's more reasonable, more practical in terms of support, and thinking of long-range solutions and being very practical. He initially tried to get a job as a tutor or some other physical type of things around Paris, but being he's older, he had a limp, he wasn't very attractive in terms of being hireable. So he goes on this yearly journey to Bruges to raise funds, but shows how practical he is, and that his concept of his own support under the vow of poverty or under the auspices of poverty changes a bit. So it's not that strict effects of poverty, but rather he is a poverty of service and stewardship. He is able to acquire whatever is necessary for him to support himself, to prepare himself for ministry. And that's significant about Ignatius, how he becomes more practical in his discerning how God is leading him. Thank you very much for joining us this day.